welcome to the Living Room. It's a community-based recovery centre, and we're here really to provide ongoing support and aftercare to people with drug and alcohol and other addictions. We have an all-recovery group approach. By that I mean we deal with alcohol, drugs, gambling, sex addiction, self-harm, etc., and eating disorders as well. Because when a young man gets drunk before going to a party, he's basically arranging things so that he doesn't have to be himself at that party, isn't he? So the question is not why does he drink, take drugs, etc., etc. The question is really why does he feel the need to flee from himself? And that's really what we do here. And we help people confront the burden of being human and accept their humanness. And we tend to concentrate on what's working in their lives, not on what's not working. Everybody seems to be focused on the problem. We focused here on the solution. And we come alongside these people and we befriend them and help them make that thing that's working for them work a little better. And we also like to put a face and a voice to recovery here, to show people what recovery looks like, to show that it's attractive, that it's achievable if you really want it, but also to counter the stigma and discrimination that still exists in society towards people with mental health and substance misuse problems. And I think Roland Lamb, my friend from Philadelphia, describes it perfectly. He says that we like to put the recovering people in the driving seat. If you like, we ask them, encourage them to drive their own recovery bus, and we sit on the back seat, pay for the petrol, and come along for the ride. If you want three words really that define the living room, they would be love, love, love. There is an overarching spirit of love and compassion and understanding here. We don't criticize, we don't judge, we just accept. And we love everybody who comes here.
There's a welcome in the living room, and it waits for you tonight.
Every time I have walked into the living room, you know, I have felt a deep, deep feeling of warmth and love, and that essential feeling of belonging. As an alcoholic, that feeling of not belonging has almost completely destroyed my life. And therefore, every time I have walked into the living room, I reclaim that feeling of belonging. And that is so, so vitally important to any recovering addict.
I absolutely love coming here to volunteer, but I also take part in group therapy, which I find very, very helpful. It's lovely to be with people who understand how I feel and accept me warts and all, and who love me. It's a very safe environment, and you can just talk about anything here. I've made a great deal of friends who I find very supportive. The difference with my life now is, since coming to the living room, is that I have a life. I don't exist anymore, I live. I get up in the morning and I look forward to each day. It's an amazing place. It helps so many people, and long may it continue and go from strength to strength. Yes, for me it's given me structure in my life, and it's lovely to give back for all the support I've had as well. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Neil Muldoon. I've been coming to the living room for 2 years. I'm, I guess, the core member of the groups, as I am, along with Winford, the most consistent member. My problem is generally with porn, though I have problems also with food, and I've recently learned that I've probably got an issue with alcohol. Addictive behaviour is very strong in my immediate family. it's a very, very different way of thinking. I used to be very pessimistic. I used to be afraid of confrontation. I'm learning to confront more. I'm learning to be myself more. I'm learning about the authentic me. The living room for me is my home of unconditional love. It's the only place where I can come to where I'm not judged for my addiction. Loving myself is the biggest struggle that I find. Appreciating compliments is not something I do well. It's still something I'm learning to cope with.
My name's Diane. I'm an alcoholic. I have been struggling with my addiction for the past 5 years since my husband died. I tried to abstain in my own time, but I had a relapse after 2 years abstinence. A very good friend of mine, knew about Winford's living room project and suggested that I come along here. When I came, I was very dubious as to what would be happening, but indeed the living room is just as it purports to be, exactly that. I can talk to everybody, say what I feel about everything. I vent my feelings, they can vent theirs, and the living room itself is a fantastic place to be, and I love the group dearly, and they're all my good friends. I'd like to think they like me. I like them all very much, and I can empathise with each and every one of them. And now I've gone from being very negative in my approach to life, and I don't wake up every day thinking, oh goodness, it's another day to face. I wake up thinking, thank God for the living room, and thank God I'm alive.
Hello, my name is Mary. I'm an alcoholic. I have been an alcoholic for many years. During that time, I have had a long sobriety period lasting 14.5 years, after which I had a relapse, a major relapse. So I went into treatment after drinking for another 2 years, and after treatment I happened to meet Winford Ellis-Owen, who I've known for a long time, and he told me that his new project was the living room here in Cardiff. So I came at the beginning, last March, so I've been coming here nearly 18 months now, no, over 18 months. I cannot tell you the difference it's made to my life and to my sobriety. I love coming here. It's very comfortable, it's friendly, it's inspiring. I've met so many lovely people here, but more than anything is the inspiration it gives me to keep going a day at a time, to stay sober, and to be here in the living room with people that are like-minded, with addictions of many natures. It's just such a motivation and a help. Now, if I'd had the living room back in the old days, who knows, maybe I might not have relapsed. What I do know is that in Cardiff, the living room is the only place to go to where people can share experience, strengths and hopes with each other. We can feed off each other to inspire each other, and it motivates us to keep going. It's very confidential. It's just a joy to be here, and I get here as much as I can around my working hours.
My name's Sharon Jenkins and I'm the Centre Manager at Living Room Cardiff. It's a very interesting place to work. I started here as soon as the centre opened in September, about the 12th of September last year. And it's been a challenge, but it's been a big learning curve, but it's been very, very useful for me and very inspirational, very encouraging to work alongside Winford and Lucia and everyone here who volunteers and gives of their time so graciously. And it's basically been setting up systems. We keep the centre ticking over, and I've been astounded by the people who've walked through the door and by the inspiration that I've got from them and the help that I've received myself. I've learned a lot about myself as well as about other people, And the centre, I believe, is thriving. It's helping a lot of people, and we're getting the foundations set up that will hopefully keep the centre going and have it be effective for many years to come. So we'd really value all the support we could get, and we're really grateful to everyone who already supports us financially, or with their time, or with their prayers, or whatever they feel they can give. We're very grateful to them.
I've got the best job in the world. Do you know what I do? I help people find the genius in themselves. A friend of mine told me a few years ago, the trouble with you, Winford, is you keep forgetting that you're a genius. Some problems with writing a script or whatever. And then I'd phone him up a few months later and he'd say, how many times do I have to tell you, Winford, the trouble with you is you keep forgetting that you're a genius. And gradually, you know, over the years, I came to recognize that what he was saying is dead right. I am a genius. And that's where the miracle happened for me. Once I realized that I was a genius, then I realized that everybody else are geniuses as well. We're all unique. We all have a unique contribution to make to life's rich tapestry. And that's what we do here at the Living Room. We discover the genius in each and every one who ventures bravely through these doors. Thank you for listening.
Open the door to a new life. Living Room, Cardiff.